90.3 WHPC now presents Law You Should Know. The law affects every aspect of our lives, our home, our jobs, and our recreational activities. Now, learn about the law and how to protect yourself against the loss of your liberty or property, and learn how to stand up for your rights and seek compensation when you have been wronged. Your host for Law You Should Know is attorney Kenneth J. Landau, a past dean of the Nassau Academy of Law, and frequently lectures to lawyers on ethics and avoiding problems with clients, and to the public on how to choose and use lawyers. This is Law You Should Know on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Hi, this is Ken Landau, and welcome to Law You Should Know. Our guest today is Adrian Motel. She's the director of the Paralegal Studies program here at Nassau Community College. It's a very well-known and reputable and long-standing program, and we're going to learn about how it helps college students, graduates, retirees, someone who is looking for a first or second career. Adrian, welcome to Law You Should Know.
Hi, Ken. Thank you for having me.
You've been the director of the Paralegal Program for many years, and it's one of the stars of Nassau Community College. And tell us about some of where your graduates go after completing a 2-year undergrad program or a paralegal certificate for those people who already have a 2 or 4-year college degree.
Well, we have a wide variety of students who come to our program. So some come, straight from high school. Some are people who are changing careers. So they come with many different skills, but most of them go to work, or a lot of them go to work in a law office. Some go to work in corporations, some go to banks, financial institutions, insurance companies, but some even go on to law school. That's why they come to us. They come to get a feel for the legal area and see if they really like it before committing to law school.
It's much less time and money involved to see if someone enjoys working in the legal field, and it can lead to many good jobs. And if they really like it, they can go on to become a lawyer.
Yes, and many people have an idea of what a lawyer is, but it's not really true to what's out there in the field. So they come to us to get an idea about civil law and working in a law office, what that entails. So I have many graduates who are working in large and small law firms.
Really, the paralegal program is a taste of law school because they learn many of the same subjects that students attending law school learn about, and they get a chance to learn about the law. But it's a less rigorous setting. They're not quite studying 24 hours a day, but they learn the same skills: legal analysis, legal writing. Then they learn a background in the law, whether it's real estate or civil or any other field of law.
Yeah, we have, they get sort of the groundwork in, civil litigation, everything about a lawsuit, how to research the statutes, how to research case law. And they, it prepares them to go work in the field, or many of them continue on and go on to law school.
And they also learn about legal analysis and legal writing, and those are very important skills in business, and they're also going to be very important skills in life, and of course, if they go on to law school. What are some of the other subjects they can learn about in the paralegal program?
Well, some of our electives include, estates and administration, how to prepare wills and trusts, bankruptcy proceedings and petitions, torts. They learn about torts and, how to proceed with a lawsuit.
And rules of civil procedure for lawsuits. And also they learn about criminal law and criminal procedure.
Not so much about criminal law. It's much more focused on civil law.
You have thousands of graduates of your program, and most of them are very happy with the education and training they received at Nassau Community College, and they're happy about being in the legal field as well.
Yes, as we're an ABA-approved, American Bar Association-approved program, we are required to survey our graduates regularly. So we do kind of track our graduates, and our surveys indicate a high degree of satisfaction with our program.
And because you're a SUNY school, a public college, your tuition is much lower and more affordable than a law school or even a paralegal program in a different private institution.
Well, yes. I mean, our tuition is, comparing to law school tuition, is like night and day. Ours is so much more affordable to help people get an idea of whether this is the field for them.
What are some of the ways you provide support to students? You have extra staff to help students with law office management, which is a big field, with learning legal research, with learning legal writing. Tell us about how you support your students in case they have a problem with something.
Yeah, we have a legal studies learning center. There's someone there who can help the students with their assignments if they're struggling through it, or legal research is a new skill that, is very particular to the legal fields, not very easy to learn. And they get a lot of extra help with their legal research and their legal writing in the Learning Center.
And also that legal analysis. And you're right, it's not something they would learn in high school or college. It's very unique to lawyers, but it is helpful in many different fields.
Oh, yes. I mean, the skills that they would learn in our program would be transferable to lots and lots of different occupations.
And you also have extracurricular activities that use those legal skills or just enhance the paralegal experience. Just tell us about some of those opportunities.
We just recently, a couple of weeks ago, we took some students to Washington, D.C. We go visit the Supreme Court. We visit other courts, appellate courts in New York. We have gone up to Albany, to visit the Court of Appeals up there. So we also have had an event recently where they could meet the judges. So, we have a lot of different extracurricular activities to enhance their education.
And as part of their study, the student experience, you try to help arrange for internships where they can get used to working in a law firm or perhaps in a courthouse, and perhaps that will lead to a job for them. So tell us about some of those.
Yeah, one of our electives is a practicum where a student can get practical experience working in a law firm or the court system or another legal environment like legal aid or Nassau Suffolk Law Services, and they're required to complete about 180 hours, but that's over the semester. So a lot of our students do enroll in that course.
And also, if they want to give back to society, there are many opportunities for paralegal students and especially paralegals to work with people who are disadvantaged, whether it's a volunteer thing or perhaps even a paid job, to work with people with different challenges or people who need to assert their rights or need protection.
Yeah, Nassau Suffolk Law Services sometimes have students volunteer to, because there's so many different social justice projects that they can get involved in.
And there are even many other projects in the city which are happy to accept paralegal or someone who's going for paralegal training.
Yes, that's true too.
What other skills can be helpful if they're thinking about a paralegal as a first or second career? If they speak a foreign language, if they have a writing background, if they're, have a scientific background, a medical background.
Yeah, those kind of skills would really work well because, a lot of language skills are in need in law offices. People with language skills. Technology skills, if you have a IT background, that would be very helpful in the legal field too.
And even medical skills. If someone was tired of the medical field or wanted to retire or transition, they could work with law firms because there are many medical issues in disability cases, in accident cases, in medical malpractice cases where they could use their medical background.
Yes, we have had nurses come and we have one nurse who came and she's still working as a nurse, but she's thinking of retiring, so she wanted this skill, and she's also now working part-time in a medical malpractice firm. We've had teachers come back and do,
and this might help someone be able to act as a consultant to law firms because they have their technical background, and this would give them the legal training to complement that, so they understand what law firms need and what skills and services they need.
Yeah, yes, we've had people from many different occupations who've maybe retired or want to change their career. We've had police officers, we've had teachers, we've had nurses. It's a good thing to come. If you already have a degree, you just have to do our certificate, which is only 24 credits.
And that might help get a job at a law firm. And it doesn't matter if you didn't like your undergrad major or you were not able to get a job with your undergrad major, that certificate may make the difference and put you on a path to being a paralegal and possibly even law school.
Yeah, it gives you those skills that will get you a job where, some 4-year degrees, very theoretical, wonderful education, but sometimes they're hard to break into the workforce.
And you are also do help your students get jobs. You help them with their resumes and interview skills. As you mentioned, there are internships. So you will try to place them or give them ideas on how they can find jobs in their fields.
Yeah, well, both Nassau Community College, they have their own job placement office that helps with resume writing, interviewing skills, practice interviews, and also gets jobs in from the local community. And so people can register with them. But even in my own department, I have a job placement list that law firms often contact me. And I send them out to the grads and students on the list. And
I know that you are very generous with your advice to people who call you or contact you about whether a paralegal background would be useful for them as a first or second career. And of course, down the road, if they're looking for their job or perhaps their next job 5 or 10 years out of your program. Give us your contact information in case there's a parent or friend, a young person or not as young person who wants more information on the program.
Yeah, my phone number is 516-572-7774. And you can email me also at paralegal@ncc.edu.
And if someone wanted to look up obtain more information about the courses, what would the website be for that?
If they go to the ncc.edu and then click on academic departments, that will take them to the Legal Studies department. And there they'll be able to look at all of the courses that are required for either the AAS degree or the certificate.
I just want to remind our listeners that we're talking with Adrian Motel. She's director of the Paralegal Program of the Legal Studies Department here at Nassau Community College. She's been directing the program for many, many years. And as you've heard, this program is a very high-quality program, has thousands of graduates out there, many of whom have gone on to law school. As we emerge from COVID, did many of your graduates, were they able to work from home and had different hybrid situations with their work, with their firms?
Yeah, I just recently was in touch with a graduate and I asked her how things were going, and she said since COVID, has been working 3 days at home and 2 days in the office, and she loves it. But, there are some law firms that are back fully, but there are some that are still hybrid. And
you mentioned earlier that your program is very flexible so that people can take courses online, they can take courses at night, they can take courses day, they can go part-time or full-time, and they could even take one course to try it out.
Yes. When COVID hit, we had to kind of switch to a remote learning. And many of our students really liked it, so we have kept some of that remote learning. It's possible for you to take classes without coming to campus because we do have some that are traditional in-class classes. We have remote classes and we have fully online classes. And, day, evening, weekend, very flexible schedule to work with, somebody who's maybe currently working or someone who has childcare responsibilities.
And your program includes all people with all different backgrounds, some straight from high school, some who have an undergrad degree, but they weren't able to get the job they wanted with it, and others who are tired of a career or retired from a career, or they just lost their job and they want to try something new.
Yeah, today I've spoken to someone who's just graduating high school who's going to come in the fall. I've spoken to someone who's currently in our program, and she's on the other end of the age spectrum. She would be probably in her 50s. So, there's lots and lots of different ages. In fact, we have people older than their 50s coming to us.
And for younger students out there, their parents and they have realized the benefit of staying local, especially if they're not sure what they want to major in or do with their lives or careers, and they can save a lot of money by going to a place like Nassau Community College and saving their money for the rest of their education. And regardless of whatever major they go on to, they're learning valuable skills by attending the paralegal program.
Yeah, 2 years, not all students are, going to go to school for 7 years. But some may just want to go for 2 years to get a skill and go out and work. And that's why our program is excellent for those students coming out of high school who want to go to work. They can come to us either full-time or part-time and continue working. And
colleges and law schools and law firms know that a graduate of your program will be put through a tough curriculum. But your graduates of your program will be able to communicate well. They're going to be able to conduct legal research, to work well with clients, to fill out forms and help that legal law office generate all the paperwork that they need to generate.
Yeah, our graduates are really trained in their organizational skills, their analytical skills, their research skills, which is great for working in the legal field, but it's also great for lots of fields.
And I also just want to mention customer service and communications, which are very important for employees, including lawyers in a law office. And you have students who come from Suffolk County as well as Queens, and with remote option, it could be anywhere in the state or anywhere in the world for that matter.
I have had a student from as far away as Buffalo, I think it was, and he started during COVID. He was an older gentleman, and he took his classes remote. He already had a degree, so he was going for the certificate, but I've had people from, we can now with remote be anywhere in New York State.
And again, this is good if someone has mixed feelings about law school. Law school is a very expensive, a very long, a very rigorous process. So this would give someone a taste of law firm, a taste of law school, and maybe a taste of what it's looks like working with the law and with lawyers.
Yeah. I mean, I always think that the paralegal program is like going in on the ground floor of a legal career, and you can go anywhere from there. In fact, I just a couple of weeks ago heard from a former student, a graduate of our program, who just recently passed the bar. And we have many students who are either in law school or are working as attorneys.
And I should mention that the paralegals and the paralegal grads are working under the supervision of an attorney. Generally, they will not go to court, but they're doing all kinds of work, research, writing, filling out forms, interviewing clients in the office. They're kind of doing sort of work that a nurse or physician's assistant might be doing under the supervision of the professional without going through all that training.
Yes, that's correct.
And spending all that money.
I mean, a paralegal cannot give legal advice. There's certain things that they absolutely cannot do, but they can do a lot of the work that an attorney would otherwise be doing himself.
And they can become a specialist. They can go work for a specialized law firm or a department within a law firm, become like an expert in certain areas of law and move up the ladder in that firm. Or they might be in a smaller firm where they learn a little about different fields of law. Yeah. Just as a lawyer might be a general practitioner.
Yes, it depends where they go to work. If they're in a solo practitioner's firm, they're going to be doing a little bit of everything. If they're in a really large firm, they may be very focused on just litigation or just trust and estates. So, it depends where they end up going to work.
And corporate, workers or government workers, sometimes they're dealing with laws and regulations and attorneys. So this gives them this helps put them on a level playing field when they're dealing with legal issues and they're dealing with lawyers and other entities.
Yes, and one of the areas that I think is very in need of paralegals now is the corporate area. I think COVID, they let a lot of people go, and a lot of people changed their careers during COVID. So there's a lot of vacancies out there.
And also someone who's dealing with claims, whether it's an auto insurance company or an insurance company, they need some of the skills that your program will give them, the legal analysis, the writing, the interviewing skills, things along that line.
The skills that they learn can be transferable to many different careers.
Including life.
I just like to remind our listeners that we're talking with Adrian Motel. She's the director of the Paralegal Program here at Nassau Community College. And you're listening to Law You Should Know, which is also at Nassau Community College. If you missed any portion of this show or you want to tell someone else about it, it's available as a podcast along with many other programs about the law at nccradio.org. Adrian, just remind our listeners of how they can reach you or on behalf of themselves or someone else, a friend or a child or parent who might want more information about the program, whether they're getting out of high school or they're retiring from one career and looking for another. Yeah, they can reach me by calling me at 516-572-7774. They can email me at paralegal@ncc.edu, and, I'll get right back to them and answer any questions they may have.
And someone can start the program in the fall or the spring and perhaps even take a class in the summer?
Yes, you can matriculate in the fall or the spring, but if you wanted to start, especially the degree program, you could take some summer classes.
And if someone's not sure, they just want to take one course to try it out and see if it will help enhance their skills or whether they're a good fit, you usually allow them to do that as well.
Yeah, I can allow a non-degree student to take a course just to see if they'd like it.
And Nassau Community has a special bargain rate available to seniors on a space available basis?
Yes, for a senior observer, they can actually come and observe our classes if they're 60 or older for free. And we have had many seniors come and observe our classes, and they really contribute to the classes.
And they can probably do that with most courses here at Nassau Community, but they might especially enjoy the Paralegal Program.
Yeah, they can do it. I think it depends if they have to get permission from the chair of each department, but I think most chairs are willing to give permission.
And if they're retired or if they're working in business or a teacher, they may enjoy it as well. It may enhance their work experience.
Absolutely.
And it puts them in contact with the younger people, and they can argue about the meaning of the law.
They can do that, and sometimes they do.
And tell us about some of the writing projects that your students will do to hone those skills that they'll need as a paralegal and perhaps a lawyer.
Well, in their legal research and writing class, they usually will research an issue, and they'll research the statutory law and the case law, and then have to prepare a legal memorandum, which is quite a big writing project. But there are smaller writing projects too, where they learn how to prepare legal documents, a summons and complaint, various writing analysis and writing.
And this will enhance their writing skills, and these will be important skills should they decide to go to law school or if they have to prepare written communications in their job.
Yes, I mean, oral communications is a big part of all of our classes. Oral and written communications, a big part of all of our classes.
And if someone has taken a break, if someone's trying to get training after many years, they will fit right in with the students you have.
Yeah, I mean, our students are very varied. They range in age. They're from many different nationalities. We also sometimes have students come who have foreign degrees, and they want to become familiar with the U.S. legal system and the New York state laws. So we have some older people, some very young people from all different places.
And they can all learn from each other.
They do. And they, when I just recently went to Washington with a group of students, they all gelled so well together. And
that's an incredible experience. Most lawyers probably have not even done the trips that you talked about as part of your enrichment for your students.
Yeah, it's absolutely thrilling to go into the Supreme Court and watch oral arguments, and the students are in awe when they go.
And it's a very unique experience, and you here at Nassau Community College, and you also provide that unique training and at the low cost, high quality training in helping someone become a paralegal as a first or second career. Are there other people who might work well as a paralegal, or it's worth trying for them?
I think it's worth it because anyone who maybe is in their job right now and feels a little dissatisfied with it, I think if they come back and get some more training, they may be able to branch out into different areas, whether it's the legal area or business. I think it's well worth coming back.
And might help them qualify for another job or promotion or perhaps a raise at their job, because they might have the credentials and experience to take on other projects.
Yeah, I mean, I recently had a student who did work in a law office as a receptionist, and she came and did her, completed her degree, and as soon as she completed it, she was promoted with extra money.
And that could probably work as well in a corporate setting, and that's a very good example.
Yeah.
And she also learned a lot along the way, and she was able to step into a new, enhanced career.
Yeah, I mean, she already, worked in the law firm, but, she really wasn't satisfied with her job as a receptionist, so she decided to get a little bit more education.
And many, firms do have tuition reimbursement, and if not, even if the person was able to use those skills down the road for their firm, maybe they would even consider some reimbursement. And as you said, in the end, she got a better job at a better salary, so it all worked out well.
Yeah, and some firms do actually do that, but also both our degree and certificate qualify for financial aid if a student is eligible.
Okay. And if anyone has any further questions, your contact information one more time.
Okay, it's 516-572-7774, and my email is paralegal@ncc.edu.
And I just want to remind everyone that Adrian mentioned you can start the program as a day person, night person, part-time, even remote, and perhaps even doing it on the weekend. You can do it while also getting your associate degree or as a separate certificate if you already have a 2 or 4 year college degree. And if you missed any portion of this program, it's available as a podcast at nccradio.org. Adrian, people can really start the program in the fall or spring, and perhaps even if it's a summer class, if they just want to try one course at a time.
Yes, they can do that.
And we urge you to, if it's not for you, perhaps tell someone else about it who needs a new career or would like to be able to move up in the world, or perhaps is thinking about a legal career down the road. And your faculty are full-time practicing attorneys, and many of them have been judges and legal scholars out there. Yeah,
we have all of our courses are taught by attorneys or judges, except one of them can sometimes be taught by an experienced paralegal. That's our law office management course.
And that's another thing that people will learn about. And it's good for managers anywhere, but they'll learn special skills and about special software that's unique in the law office.
Yes, and all of our students have access to legal software, Lexis, to do research.
And you provide plenty of support for them to make sure they were able to understand the classes, and so you support them afterward with the placement program and trying to get leads and help them enjoy their legal career.
We are very hands-on from before they start right through their degree or certificate and after.
And you never let go.
And we never let go.
I'd like to thank Adrian Motel for talking about the Paralegal Program at Nassau Community College. Please join us next week at this same time for another program on Law You Should Know here on 90.3 WHPC, the voice of Nassau Community College.